Hello, everybody. Yeah.
Came up with Proggies. I went on the right.
Oh, I had you muted. Start again.
Jeff Grubb came up with Proggies.
Find it.
Yep.
Find the evidence.
I did. I showed it to you, and you're like, "Yeah, that sounds like you came up with it." And
I don't remember.
then you were streaming, so it's like you're like, it's probably right." And then that's the last we talked about it.
It's like Mike thinking he came up with the Mike Minotti song. That's just wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, that is absolutely right.
That was Dad's cream truck.
I've been singing that for like 10 years.
No, not even really.
You heard me sing it and then like thought you knew what it was. I remember.
Okay, Mike.
I know why you think it.
Okay. It is an existing melody. What is the melody?
So that's the thing. That's why you think that you came up with it, because I sang it that one time, and then you said, "Oh, you're singing it to this song," and I'm like, "No, it's just the thing I do. I don't remember."
No,
the existing
that's
melody.
not what happened. You old man with a failing memory.
What?
What happened was I was singing, you sang your name to a bunch of different songs, a bunch of different melodies, and I was specifically singing it to Crash Man's theme one day.
Oh,
That got warped by Jan, who got warped by Alex Boniello, which is what we have today.
I think maybe I heard you sing the Crash thing, and I was like, "Oh, that sounds like how it sounds like when I sing my name to myself all the time."
Look on your ass.
Goalpost.
Get the fuck out of here. Oh my god.
Excuse me, I need to buy Shenmue 1 and 2 for $6 each.
Test.
Or $6 together.
Are those on Steam as well?
Oh, never mind. I already own these games. Well, I did buy Shenmue 3. It was $1.50. I was like, all right, fine.
We'll lose some money if you don't buy it.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to lose money on this deal.
What replay are you asking for? What is this shit? What is this game I'm looking at?
Okay, my brother, Chris Minotti in chat, thank you, says Mike has been singing that song to himself for years. Thank you, Chris.
Chris Benai, the guy who's bad at trivia? I don't trust him.
Everybody's getting fucking
Love you, Chris.
Thank you, Snackport TV. You did do that.
Test. Okay, all right.
Everybody's getting destroyed.
Everybody's getting a piece of the action today.
All right, that looks good.
I'm yelling about the Yankees and everything. It's great today.
Oh God, Jeff, the Yankees might lose the World Series while we record today.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. I got sad when the Tigers lost, so I just put like $5 on the Dodgers right in that moment. So if the Dodgers win, I think I get like 180 on that $5 bet because it was like made early enough. I'm like, oh, that's nice. Okay.
Mid-tweet.
Okay. I think we're looking good. Let's test the music.
Hey, you guys hear me? Start cheering now!
Yum yum.
Yum yum. All
I
right.
need to press the
Yum, yum.
record. Right. I'm ready.
Okay. That looks good. Let me bring up that. Last of the Nintendogs.
Let's get it.
Let's get it.
Oh. Let's go.
You okay, Christian?
Let's go.
Let's
I
get
think
it.
he said something.
We got. Did we got a round? No, we didn't. Oh, we got one first and one third.
All right. Ricardo, I do not desire to become a gambling influencer, so no, I won't be doing that. This is just a little like a little just the fun on the side to make watching sports a little bit more
originally
enjoyable.
told me like, "Oh, I'm only doing what I had left over from the Super Bowl," and now it's like every time I talk to you, you got some new bet
Well,
going.
it's still that same money, yeah.
Must have been a lot of money you had in there.
Yeah, I left like because when I won the $10,000, I left $500 in there, and I'm still
Yeah, that's right. You did. Oh, well, that makes sense.
So I just play around with that.
did.
Yeah.
You did want 10,000. I always forget that you did that shit.
Yeah.
No, that's cool.
So
You
it's
should
like
do that again.
it's kind of just play money at this point, and it's just it's nothing. Okay,
Right.
this looks good. That looks
Are we
good.
all ready?
Yeah, I think we're good to go.
Yeah. All right, let's start.
All right. I'm gonna count us in. We're gonna go
Ready to
live.
tweet.
In. I'll do it while we're live. In 5, 4, 3.
Hey, you guys hear me? Start cheering now! Yeah, let's get this over with. Yeah.
Woof woof. Hi, I'm Mike Minotti, and I am a Nintendog.
Hi, I'm Jeff Grubb, and I am a Nintendog.
And we are the last of the Nintendogs. And today, only idiots thought the Switch 2 was going to get announced. But hey, you can have Xenoblade Chronicles X instead. And how about some more NSO N64 rated M for mature games? Shadow Man. Jeff, Grubb.
Hi. Hello.
Hey. How you doing?
I'm pretty good. I know it's better before people try to take proggies from me, but I was, pretty good otherwise.
Yeah, it's mine. But yeah.
Listen, you definitely stole it. That's right. So that possession's 9/10 of the law. So yeah, it's yours now.
Yeah, I was very busy today, so that's fine. Felt like I earned my paycheck doing lots of work. It's also fine because I'm kind of on vacation technically starting Friday. Because even after I get back from dance for Extra Life, and yeah, that's a Saturday, everybody. And I took the rest of that next week off just because I had a week off coming to me. It's been a long time, so gonna relax, do some cleaning, play some video games, maybe try to like get through Dragon Age and some other stuff. Make sure I'm all good on that front. But you know what I might do? Maybe play a Nintendo game because I haven't actually done that in a little bit because so much time has been taken up by Metaphor in that sort of Switch slot that I usually use for that gaming.
Yeah, I am still finishing up Echoes of Wisdom a little bit here and there. Mostly, I'm playing a lot of Astro, and I'm playing a lot of the Nintendo playtest thing that I can't talk about. So those things, that thing's limited. So I want to get a good understanding of it before it goes away here. In, I think next week. So I'll keep playing that because I want to do that while I can. It's very weird. But yeah, other than that, it's just been Echoes of Wisdom, just a tiny bit, like an hour, like every couple of days.
You said on Game S Mornings, I believe that I'll be mad at you if you don't beat Tears of the King or
No.
Thousand Year Door before Game of the Year time. And you're correct, I will be. So
I know.
Yeah, just remember.
I'm working on it. It's there. It's like I bumped it in my roster, so it's up front, so I see it when I turn on the Switch.
Good.
So it'll be top of mind because out of sight, out of mind for me. So I did that much to keep it active in the rotation, and I think that'll help. I will pick up the Switch. Again, the real trouble these days is, boy, those kids want to be on that Switch all the time now. So even when they're not playing it, they've taken it somewhere, and I got to go hunt it down, and that makes it just a little bit more difficult to keep up on these things.
All right, we actually do have a bunch of news to talk about, even though the news story I think everybody's hoping for didn't happen. Before we get to that,
there's still a few hours left in today. All right, it could still happen.
I guess it could happen tomorrow, right?
Or it could happen next year.
You know what? I'll tell you what. I was never one of those it's going to happen next year people. And now I'm starting to be a bit of a, man, they may not talk about this thing till 2025.
We'll see.
So we'll see. We'll talk about that. Thank you to everybody who's watching live with us. If you sent in super chats, we read them during the show. See a bunch there already. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Please hit that like button if you're watching live too. It helps more people find the show. It just makes us feel good. All right, Jeff. So we didn't get that Switch 2 announcement, but a surprise, Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition announced. This is one of the last big Wii U exclusives. Now it's coming to Switch on March 20th. Available for pre-order right now. You can use one of those Nintendo Switch game vouchers on it. We've been wondering when this one would hit for a while. I know I've said I thought it was probably going to happen soon, which isn't some big Nostradamus move. Monolith had a pretty steady schedule since the start of the Switch of, the new game, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, then the DLC for it, then a remaster of old game, it was 1, then they did 3, DLC for that, and now here's the remaster of the other game. This was a bit different than some of the others in the series. I never played it on the Wii U, but you have a giant mech, it's more open world, maybe not quite as narrative heavy. I hear a lot of people say that it's their favorite. They love it. I hear some other people say, maybe
not enough
not
waifu.
Their favorite. Not enough waifu, maybe. Yeah, is this something you're sort of interested to check out? Or is the real story for you just the fact that this was announced and that we have another Switch game kind of further along down the calendar now?
Yeah. So it's March, and it's announced in a tweet. That's always.
Yeah, I wonder what that means for a big direct at some point, because if you're gonna have a direct in December, you could have just announced this during that, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, you could even, because it's March. If there was going to be the direct early in the year, sometimes they have one of those. You could have saved it for that, and 2 months later, what's the difference? So. I mean, who knows? Every little move they make is, they think about it and they think about it and they have their reasons for all their decisions. It's hard to know everything based because it's hard to parse it because they're operating on more information than we have because they know what they're going to do with the Switch 2 for the most part. So, for me, this just means, yeah, this was gonna happen, and it's the Switch 2 or the Switch 1, excuse me, will still have software support at least to the end of this fiscal year, and then we don't have anything beyond that, right? We don't have anything.
It's Metroid Prime 4, but
we don't. I guess that's right. We don't know when that's coming. Yes. So yeah, okay, Metroid Prime 4, which could take any shape or form still. Yeah. I just think that, yeah, this is a little bit interesting just because it was announced in a tweet. Maybe they are saving most of their big stuff for some direct that just this would have no place in because it's going to be an afterthought compared to all the Switch 2 excitement. Or maybe it doesn't mean anything at all.
Right. Or, maybe, what we get for that first quarter next year for the Switch from Nintendo is just Donkey Kong Country Returns. And this, I mean, that was kind of part of the rumors, right? Like, oh, Nintendo's like really asking third parties for help because they're focusing on Switch too. They're going to have a lot for the Switch. There's still some other, remasters and things like, we've been hearing about that Fire Emblem remake that might be done for a long time. I'm looking at a list actually of like the Wii U only games that are still left. There aren't a lot of them. There's 36 entries on here, and that still includes Xenoblade Chronicles X. So 35 now. And some of these are bad games. Some of these are like the Wii U iteration of a game like Mario Tennis. But there's a Mario Party, a Mario Sonic Olympic games. Those aren't going to get ported over. Other ones like really depend on the Wii U kind of setup, like Game and Wario, Nintendo Land. So that's what's happening. Then you get stuff like, is it popular enough? Will anybody care? Like Paper Mario Color Splash. Or there was a Yoshi game on Wii U that might have already came over because I don't even see it on here. So actually, maybe it came to 3DS is why. Actually,
that's right.
That's why it's not on here.
Yes,
I mean it's funny enough. Like the big ones left really are Twilight Princess and Wind Waker HD.
Yep.
Like maybe Star Fox Zero if they want to actually do that, or they could do Kirby and the Rainbow Curse. But again, does anybody really care about that? I don't know.
Ryan, that's there's input concerns there, maybe not concerns, but they'd have to like think about it a little bit, because it's like, you can do it on a touch screen, but do they give you pointer control or something? And they could. I think like Zelda for example, that's its own thing, because it's like that is part of the Zelda scheduling process and not like the wider, hey, does this make sense to port from the Wii U to the Switch? It's like, well, obviously it does. It would do very well, but they think about every Zelda game like entering at a certain point on the calendar, and if they have other Zelda stuff coming, they'll just hold on to that, which is continues to be.
It made a lot more. Not getting Wind Waker and Twilight Princess this year made a lot more sense once we saw Echoes of Wisdom.
Right, exactly. So they'll continue holding on to that, but outside of those games, I think they are at the end of the line for everything that they're probably gonna actually do. So they could do some of these other ones still. But I think I think it's much more likely they start looking at other repositories of games. Maybe it's like, oh, let's remaster more GameCube games rather than get these last few, like get this, Star Fox Zero or something, or There's
other Wii stuff, and I mean, there's still Metroid Prime 2 and 3. Right. I don't know why you wouldn't do that at this point. Hopefully, they do.
Yep, it's I think kind of looking back, it's like they have done a lot to keep the Switch interesting this year with what they're working with, but you can also tell pretty easily that they are holding a lot more back for the Switch 2, and once that, like, the floodgates open on that, it's going to be pretty quick, even with these games getting announced for the Switch, to forget about anything that is a Switch game, because it'll just be like that's cross-gen or it'll be backward compatible, and so these games will get lost in the mix pretty quickly, which maybe is why we continue not getting Switch 2 announcements, in addition to like what Kent and Krista said about the election.
Right, and so that was Kent and Krista kind of mentioned, like, and they used to work at Nintendo of America, that they don't think they are going to really do it anytime soon because the election cycle is really going to take up the news. And, this election's probably not going to be like, oh, November 6th, it's all figured out, right? The election's probably going to be in the news throughout most of November, and then after that, it's December.
And then it's
that's kind of a
January
weird time.
6th once again. So yeah,
yeah. So it is like, man, when are they going to announce this thing? Like, it's this weird thing where it could be tomorrow, and it could be months from now. It could be like surprisingly deep into 2025. We know it has to be before the end of the fiscal year, right? So it's got to be before March 31st. Are there 31 days of March? I don't know.
I think
the end of March.
Remember.
So, but that's a whiles away. There's a lot of time between now and then for this to happen. So I'm definitely like preparing myself way more for it. I'm not hearing about this thing really anytime soon. And if we're surprised and we do hear about it somehow in November or December or somehow tomorrow, that's great. Not expecting it.
Yep, it's it's not pointless, whatever. It's fun because it's at the end of the day, there's no stakes really here to like guessing and being wrong. We're all just trying to.
There will be a Switch 2 no matter when they announce it.
That's the real thing here. It's like no matter what we do or say or feel or guess or are right about or wrong about, at the end of the day, the thing's going to happen when it happens. And so, like I've been saying, I'm just living that life of. They'll do it when they do it, and I'm not going to fuss too much beyond that.
Nintendo Switch Online is getting a couple more games. Shadow Man and Turok 2 Seeds of Evil for the M Plus version of the Nintendo 64 app. These are both fine games, and I like finally seeing more third-party games. We haven't been getting a lot of those on NSO lately, and that's been kind of frustrating. It's a little weird because Night Dive Studios has done remasters for both of these, and they're very good. And I feel like they're often on sale at one point or another. If you really want to play these games, you're almost certainly better off doing that. But if you just wanted to try these games, and the NSO apps are good for that, they're good for just sampling stuff, then sure, throw them in there. Why not?
Yeah, I do wonder if this like starts a trend of some of these games that like maybe have a little bit more name recognition could get the treatment of a remaster from Night Dive or whoever. It's like, okay, once we put out the remaster version that people can sell, then we'll make a deal with you, Nintendo, to put them on Nintendo Switch Online at that point. It's like we want to make some money up front first. So like once we kind of break that seal, then we can justify taking whatever you're going to pay for us to get a little extra on top.
Yeah. I mean, it's frustrating in the sense that like there are a lot of games still for N64 that, we want to see on there. Even like third-party stuff like Space Station Silicon or even Body Harvest.
Right.
Mischief Makers. Even give me a freaking Chameleon Twist, the Bomberman games that are great on Nintendo 64. Right. So we see games, it's like, I kind of can already play it on Switch, and it's better to play it that way than this ever will be.
Yep.
Maybe a little frustrating, but it's not necessarily zero-sum stuff.
Yeah, I think the only frustrating, or the most frustrating part about it is, like, these are the games locked into the higher tier. So you are paying extra for it, and this could be being a little bit of an anticlimactic thing because these games are available in other ways on the Switch. I get it, but I don't know. I still pop when I see games on Nintendo Switch Online. Uh-oh. Is the Sergeant Snoop back?
Chris Pratt is being very funny. Thank you, Chris. All right. And then Nintendo gave details about Animal Crossing Pocket Camp Complete, the paid version of its mobile game. Chris Scullion from VGC wrote this up. But yeah, this is going to be the kind of paid $20 version. It's going to have an introductory price of $10, though, until January 31st. So if you think you're going to buy this game, buy it sooner rather than later. Pocket Camp was always interesting because it seemed like a mobile game that could have some juice. We saw how big Animal Crossing can be. This one never really took off, but I still bet there are a lot of hungry Animal Crossing fans, maybe hungrier than ever because everybody loved New Horizons so much, and we haven't really gotten that much Animal Crossing content since then. So maybe this will have a life, but more importantly, it is just nice to see what used to be a kind of service mobile game get turned into just a buy once and have everything product. Yeah,
it was a Sega, and now it's not. Sorry, I heard service game, or Sega means service game, and now I'm not going to be able to think about anything else when I hear service game.
What, did the Yankees had a grand slam? Jesus.
Yeah.
What was that?
That seems like they shouldn't be allowed to do that.
Yeah, they did.
Gosh.
Yeah, I forget what we were talking about.
That's why I shouldn't do these things.
Uh-huh.
You're happy about Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing, yes, there we go. Yeah, this is a thing I am happy about. I'm glad that they made this move. It shows a lot of respect for the work that their developers did, and they worked for years on this thing. So, and it gives. I don't know how worried they are about people being able to have access to that content as much as like, hey, maybe this is something we can continue to sell. But whatever their motivations are, people can continue to have access to this content, and it is an Animal Crossing game, and it would be a sad world if a whole ass Animal Crossing game just disappeared and it became basically impossible to experience it. So I'm gonna get this $10, half the price for a little bit. I know they're kind of playing me there. They're working me a little bit with get it now at half the price. It's like, yeah, this thing is just worth $10 to be real.
Big sale down at JCPenney.
Exactly. But whatever, it does give me a sense of urgency. I will buy it right away, and then I'll throw it in front of the kids on a road trip. We got Disney coming up. I don't think it'll be out by then. Maybe it will be. And see if this is the Animal Crossing for them. I don't know.
All right. That's it for the sort of bigger news story. At least in Nintendo, it was sort of an eventful day for video games with Sony closing down 2 studios, including the Concord studio. I don't know if you have any more thoughts about that as a little side version here. Side version? Is that a thing? There's diversions, and there's a sides. There aren't side versions. I just made up a word.
A side diversion, yeah.
Side diversion, side version.
The only thing is, just kind of seeing Ethan Gotch reporting that, the development deal for Firewalk was $200 million, not including marketing, the sale of IP rights, the acquisition of the studio, or the game's delayed launch. So it was a big, expensive game, which we knew. We knew it was big and expensive, but just kind of seeing the number there, it's like, yeah, that hurts.
But it wasn't 400 million. Like that's
it wasn't 400 million, but 200 million is one of the bigger budgets for a video game. Like that's
right.
Most
and this
games
thing did nothing. It is just every time I think
it's
about
a crater.
it, I'm kind of aghast of just how little reach that this game had. It doesn't seem like it should be possible. So I don't know.
It's like antimatter.
Yes, there's gonna be effects from this for a good while still.
It's like in science when you have to look for the evidence of something by like the lack of the presence of something else. Like that is what this is. It's like, there's no oxygen on this planet. Something terrible must have happened here. Concord is that much of a disaster. They said they looked at their options and they decided the best option was to close the studio and not bring the game back. And I don't know. It's hard to argue with that, but boy, that's just. I think the thing that really got me was the studio put out their statement and they're like, "We did everything we were supposed to do." That's what they just said. And it's like that we've been saying that every time this comes up, it's like, looks like this is a game that looks like they did everything they were supposed to do, and yet we still ended up here. That's terrifying. And that realization, like I think other developers reading that sentence have got to feel like, holy shit, what are we doing?
Herman Hulse kind of in that note is like, yeah, we're still committed to live service games, and we're still excited about mobile, even though they also closed the studio that was making a mobile game. Do you really think that this live service strategy is the North Star over at Sony? You think this has kind of scared them out of that?
Well, what we know is now that they're banking a lot of they put in a lot of effort on Marathon, on the Bungie one. So like
Marathon will come out.
Maybe.
There's a handful of other things that will come out for sure. Well, not for sure. Like the Horizon live service game will probably come out. They're still working on that.
Or will it be like the Spider-Man multiplayer game or the Last of Us multiplayer game?
It very well could.
Those don't come out. Yeah.
It very well could. But definitely not North Star. Like they don't see that as the answer to their problems, as we always talk about on the shows. These shows, it's like, hey, is live service going to be the thing that complements all of our other efforts, so that we have kind of a buffer between huge successes and calamity? And it's like, well, we thought maybe, and clearly no. And sometimes the calamity will be the live service game now, and that's deeply troubling. So I think their new North Star is, they're going to have to innovate. They're going to have to like try some new stuff. They're going to have to be pushing genres forward. And And that is a tough business.
It's difficult these days, actually.
Yep.
That's not as, and it was never easy, but it used to be easier. And
it used to be easier,
it's harder than ever been.
I think, Naughty Dog talking about making a game driven by player creativity and choice. I think that has the potential to be a game that could do 2x the number of sales that any previous Naughty Dog game has had, which would be a huge improvement, a huge thing for them. But being able just like going from, hey, we made The Last of Us Part 2 to like, we're going to make a game that is Breath of the Wild, that's also easier said than done. So we'll see.
All right. Why don't we take a quick break? We'll come back. We got some super chats to read.
Yep. Sounds good.
All right. We are on a break.
Took my medicine.
That video they released for Marathon, where like they spend 10 minutes explaining what an extraction shooter is. Oh boy, that was rough to watch. It's like you have to explain what the fuck this game, like the basic shit of this game, for like 10 minutes. We're gonna,
well,
whatever.
If the shooting is good, it'll probably take care of itself.
That's what I was about to say. Bungie hasn't fucked up shooting yet,
right?
So like the old Marathon game is a really good shooter, like straight up. So Halo is a good shooter. Destiny is a good shooter, so
yeah, I mean, as long as they continue to nail that side of things, people will want to play their games. Whether or not they're going to want to stick with their games or turn it into their new hobby, that's a question mark. But at the very least, people will give it a shot.
Also, it's making me excited because I'm a fan of like the genre. So like now seeing big games that like coming out for this genre is pretty cool. All right, are you ready?
Yes.
Do you have the super chats?
Yep, I got it right here. You should get this yawn out.
All right, don't fall asleep. I know Mike, but don't fall asleep.
Do. Oh, that's why I do this show. And we're back. All right, Jeff, please read the super chats. You have to, because I said please.
Yep, I will. I'll do my best at least. Let's see here. Jacob Bench writes in and says, what's the most recent game that has disappointed you? Unfortunately, Metaphor just didn't hit for me, which sucks because I'm a massive Atlas fan. I think, Jacob, when you do that, and I'm the one reading the super chats, and that coming out of my mouth, I think, did you guys get like a little mad at me just hearing me say that, even though those weren't my words? Okay.
No, I didn't project that onto you. No, trust me. Like I like Metaphor so much that other people not being into it, whatever. That's every video game. It always happens. I mean, Christian's not super into it too, right? And it's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
All right.
When
just happens.
When Jan on the Bombcast today said he beat Metaphor, there were so many people in chat that were me like, yes, let's go. Everyone was so excited. People love this game.
I mean, I will say, like, just talking with Jan about it, like, I was like buzzing. I felt so good just loving that game and talking to somebody else who loved it. I really do feel that strongly about it. I'm having so much fun with it. Yeah. I mean, I guess for me, it probably was Dawn Trail, that last Final Fantasy 14 expansion.
You didn't even finish. What are you talking about?
Yeah, because I got
the good part.
Because I played like 15 hours and it was kind of boring. I'll get back to it, and I'm sure there will be an upside there. But like I was really looking forward to it. Part of it might actually be that I did finally need a bit of a Final Fantasy 14 break because I was playing it like almost every day for maybe 3 years at that point. So I think I need a break, and I have been sort of enjoying playing World of Warcraft, going back to that, because that somehow is feeling fresh. So, I guess Dawn Trail didn't quite hit for me like I thought, and then, like kind of before that, it might have been Final Fantasy 16, so, oh no.
Yeah, I mean, a game that I do like I said, 3 out of 5, but it's not the game I needed it to be. Starfield, it's like the last one that like really sticks out. Like disappointed is the right word for that for me, where it's just like there is so much that I come to your games for, and this is so far away from being that. In most important ways, and like even the stuff that like I would be like, oh, I'm glad you still make games this way. I could pick up anything and do anything I want with this stuff. They don't even offer like the fun ways to interact with that stuff that means anything. Like you bring that stuff on your ship, and then you come back to your ship later, and it's a lot of times it's despawned, derezzed, and it's I'm like, that wouldn't happen in Skyrim. In Skyrim, I would just live in my house. So just a little frustrating that experience overall. All right, next super chat. Simon from Saskatchewan. Any chance of getting someone to do a stream of Shadows' first bad game before the movie comes out? If it's someone on GB staff, I elect Bacalar. He seems like he'd relate to Shadows vibes.
Yeah. It would be funny just to make Dan play Shadow the Hedgehog. I don't know how we can do that. I mean, I'll tell you what, like, I played Shadow the Hedgehog on GameCube about maybe a year ago, and it has plenty of problems, but compared to, like, Sonic 06, not bad at all.
Yeah.
Right? And, like, a lot of things that are, quote-unquote, bad about Shadow the Hedgehog are sort of funny now. Like, it's weird edginess, and the fact that he just kind of has guns for no reason. It's like a mess of a game, just constant voiceover talking, and it's like often talking over each other while you're running around stages that have too much going on, so there's random bursts of slowdown and stuff like that. But it's somehow far from being the worst Sonic game.
All right. From Super Blast X, Jeff, I love your Tim and Eric references. Keep it up. Which bit, skit, or shrim would you say is your fave? Great job. Yeah, I there's a whole, they always just pop in my head pretty frequently. Everything in that show makes me laugh when I think about it. I like the one where there's a boy who like joins Tim's family because Tim's got the cool like family with matching shirts, and they have a Bluetooth earpieces in that they used to talk to each other, and he's always talking to his friend Craig, and he says Craig sends his love a lot. And there's a point in that short where the kid needs to like go to the cool family, and so he like does this like tactical roll away from Eric Wareheim, and I just remember it making me laugh constantly. So yeah, that one, oh yeah, an Absolute Vodka. There's a whole bunch of great ones for sure.
I think of Tane.
Yes.
Right.
Uh-huh.
That a lot. The Totino's pizza roll commercial. And the tribute to Casey CD.
Yep. Oh,
with Josh Grubman.
Yeah. The Terry Green machine is also great. A water-powered movie player that only plays Terry Green movies. Yes, that's good.
You did the hamburgers and hot dogs too. I want to have a barbecue thing not too long ago.
Yeah. We were on that little train the other day, and me and Steph were both singing, I want to ride on a choo-choo train.
That's the one that gets me. They got Josh Groban singing a Bad Kid song, and he's laughing because he can barely stop. I was like, in his magnificent voice going, I want to ride on a choo-choo train. I want to ride all across the USA.
Yes, it's great. And that's the guest stars are often the best part, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. From Simon from Saskatchewan, who's back. Ever watched the classic 80s Halloween movie Monster Squad? Very 80s. For a laugh, watch short clip called Wolfman's Got Nards. Mike, have you ever seen this movie?
No, I've not.
Love Monster Squad. Now there is one. It's the 80s, so there is I think one F word, the bad F word.
It's got a Bill and Ted. Damn.
It's got a Bill and Ted. It's the 80s. If you could just take that out, it's kind of a perfect movie.
Yeah.
It's Shane Black, the guy that wrote like Lethal Weapon and stuff.
The guy did Iron Man 3.
The guy that did Iron Man 3. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, I love Monster Squad. It's I want to go as Frankenstein and have one of my girls go as the little girl one Halloween, which is a thing that they do. Which is that's from old Frankenstein movies, but they do that in Monster Squad as well, and it's very cute.
It has a really good rating on Letterboxd, so I go by that.
It's fantastic. It is definitely worth a watch. Just keep the F-bomb in mind. Cody Bishop says, Jeff, I got gastric sleeve surgery and started Ozempic. I eat about 800 to 1,000 calories per day. How are you finding the Ozempic? Has it helped so far? Yeah, it's helped a lot. It's kind of just working there in the background. It mostly controls my appetite, which is, I had no appetite control before. I just kind of got compulsions to eat constantly throughout the day without even really thinking about it. And now I just get hungry when I'm hungry. And it's kind of a relief. I was at my highest, I was like 265, and I'm down to 235. That was this week. So haven't been that low in a very long time. And I think if you're someone that ever feels compelled to eat constantly, it's definitely worth looking into. And with these websites now that you can go to and talk to a doctor through there and get it through the mail, it's a relatively painless process.
You're great, Jeff.
Thanks, appreciate it. It's but yeah, hey, go talk to your doctor if you want to hear more about it. I can always talk about my experience. All right, Connell Wood says Donkey Kong is January, Xenoblade X is March. What's coming February? Is it Pokemon ZA? Is it Fire Emblem remake? Zelda ports? Could this be where Metroid Prime 2 or 3 drops?
Could be any one of those. It's still Nintendo. It could be something we weren't, didn't see coming. Remember how shocked we all were about Brothership, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Like, somehow they could still pull one of those out of their sleeve. So, they could have a surprise like that. But yeah, it wouldn't shock me if it is more sort of ports, remasters like Metroid Prime 2 or maybe that Fire Emblem remake. I mean, that's Engage came out early in the year, that 1 year, so you could slot Fire Emblem into that spot pretty easily.
Right. Part of me is like, man, if they were going to do that with that game, and they've known that, why wouldn't that have just been in the direct with Donkey Kong? I mean, February's not that long after January, it turns out. In fact, it's the next month after January. Why wouldn't they just talk about it then?
They always do this. They always save a few things that they can reveal in a tweet, just to, get a little conversation going again, and something to do before an investor meeting, which is happening soon, which is part of why people thought maybe Switch 2 announcement was going to happen this week.
L. Grug writes, because the Commanders beat the Bears, that video of the lady terrified of olives has been going around. Would that be Mike's reaction to apples?
Might be my reaction to olives. No, I'm kidding. I don't love olives though. But I don't know. I don't know this video.
I don't know if I know this video either. Yeah, I don't remember. I
have no idea what that is.
I did really enjoy that last Hail Mary in the Commanders Bears game. Did you see that?
No. I've not been watching a lot of football this year. My fantasy team, yeah, right. Fantasy team's doing great though. So you're
kind of running roughshod on everybody. Yeah, at the end of the game, the Bears get a touchdown with 24 seconds left. They kick it off, and the Commanders kind of get a couple of passes down to like the 35-yard line, their own 35-yard line. So they're going to do a Hail Mary, and number 29 on the Bears, a DB, is in the back corner of the end zone taunting the fans. He's just taunting the fans, like, whatever. The play hasn't started yet. The game's not over. He's taunting the fans, looking at them, not looking at the play. Kind of turns around, kind of sees the play's begun. He's like, I guess maybe I'll go in this. The ball gets in the air. He does run towards where everyone is scrummed up at. He jumps up and tips the ball, stop anyone from catching it, and tips it right to the to the Commanders player in the end zone, and they lose the game. He had to write an apology to all the fans because everyone's mad at him now. It's an incredible moment.
It's so good.
All right, let's get to what's really important here. Chris Pratt, who writes, they should port Mario Arcade to Switch. No need for me to go to the laundromat anymore. Yeah.
Now, wait a second. He wrote Eddie Morio, which I think was a typo, but I like to think it was a play on Mario.
Yeah, you're right.
Eddie Morio.
Eddie Morio. I think it's on there. Isn't there like an arcade classic game or whatever? Arcade Archives?
There is for Donkey Kong.
There's for Donkey Kong. Is there not for Mario? Maybe there's not. There's got to be a way to play that game on the Switch, though, because it's probably one of those Game Boy Advance games.
Well, it's certainly in the Game Boy Advance Mario Advance things. I thought even regular... Am I making it up that regular Super Mario Brothers 3... had a way to play something that was like the Mario Brothers arcade game by going back to an old level? I might be making that up. It might be a false memory.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Whoa, Chris Pratt.
What?
Did Chris Pratt call us idiots? Oh my gosh. He said, I would know you idiots just in regular chat. Chris, I thought we were friends. This is very, very un-Zen-like, Chris. This is not the Chris I know. I hope you're doing okay.
Yeah. I'm worried about him. But he did write in with another one. Chris Pratt says...
He apologized. Okay. Chris, to be clear, nobody has ever been forgiven more quickly. It's okay.
We are so ready to forgive Chris Pratt for any of his sins, including him writing, I hope it's not revealed January 6th. I'm busy that day stomping the chalupas in Congress. Oh, Chris.
It is upsetting that January 6th is almost 4 years ago, because that
wow.
went by fast.
God, I didn't think about it that way. That's messed up. Man, holy
Yeah.
smokes. Okay. Yep. Dat Boy Jerry writes in, any chance Spoon Heaven, maybe, coming out next year and doing well causes Ubisoft to circle back? I'm just going to say no right now, but circle back to a Prince of Persia Metroidvania again. They chase trends a lot. Yeah,
They chased their own trends. Yeah, there's no way.
Yeah, there's that. That would not change anything. I'm sorry to say. All right. Plumley 94 writes, maybe you've already discussed it, but how do we feel about Windblown? Cool new rogue style game on Steam. Put an hour in today and really enjoyed it. This is
Windblown?
Yeah, who is this from? This is from a studio that's done stuff. Is it from?
Look at it.
Yeah,
it is from a studio called
Dead
Motion
Cells.
Twin.
Yes, Dead Cells. Motion Twin is the Dead Cells
this
developer.
is Dead Cells' new thing, the isometric thing.
Yes.
Kind of. Yeah, okay. I say isometric when it's just top down, but people know what I mean.
Yeah, people get it. I have added this to my account. I've been meaning to play it because I think it just went into early access recently, and I haven't played it yet because Astrobot. If I'm being
Speaking
honest.
of Prince of Persia, because these people also made that rogue Prince of Persia game that people
that's right
aren't talking about. At least I thought it was supposed to be the Dead Cells people who did that. I don't know.
Was that the other Dead Cells team? Because there was two Dead Cells.
It's the other Dead Cells.
There was
team.
the original Dead Cells people, and they went on to do other things, and then the Motion Twin
Evil
team.
Empire.
Yes,
okay.
yes, they kind of overtook Dead Cells. I think that's the legacy. It might be the other way around, but either way, yeah, I'll check out Windbloom. Looks like it's got some furries in it, so I'll represent for y'all. Rapid Fire 187 writes, "Thank you guys. Out of all the other RPGs coming up this year, what are you dreading the least?" Out of all the other RPGs coming up this
yeah, which one are you looking most forward to? It's a double negative.
Yep. I mean, what is left? I mean, there's Dragon.
Well, you're looking. I mean, for you, it's Brothership, right?
Yeah, I mean, Brothership, because there's. Well, I'm just trying to remember everything. 'Cause there's Dragon Age, Dragon Quest 3 or through HD 2D,
Right.
And then there's Brothership. Is there anything else I'm forgetting?
I mean, I'm thinking about Brothership and Dragon Quest a lot. And look, I'm really looking forward to Brothership, but I'm really looking forward to that Dragon Quest. I think that's going to be super hot.
Yep. Yeah, for me, the answer's Brothership. I hope it delivers. I really hope it's everything that it can be. If it just can get to Bowser's, inside story levels again, I'll be so happy. And there's a chance because this is from the Acquire, the Octopath Traveler people, and people love Octopath Traveler too, at the very least. So I hope some of that magic can translate through the Nintendo filter of quality, and we get something really special.
Do we know? Are they like the developer of it, or are they like a developer on it?
For Mario,
Brothership.
I think they're the developer on it, like the main developer.
That's awesome.
Yes,
That's great.
That's great. Well, just speaking of kind of like the previews, because the previews for that game were pretty good, but there was definitely some people like, yeah, it's pretty good. Did you see the previews for Indiana Jones?
Just a little bit. I really was very busy today.
People
What was the sentiment?
People are popping hard for it.
Okay.
Like they seem very very positive.
It's interesting. I mean, people were very positive on those Dragon Age previews. And not that the game did bad, but it got an 83. It's good. But there were reservations that I think became more apparent when you had a lot of time with that game. So
that could still happen here. Definitely.
Still happen.
That's kind of what I'm like. I think I'm getting excited, but I'm still going to be like, I will wait until I'm playing it before I fully get ready to fall in love with that game. So I hope it comes through. Last few super chats here from Fahokwa Gods. Hey guys, this is the real Mariah Carey. Please let me know your favorite Mariah Carey song. P.S. This is not Mariah Carey. This is not Mariah Carey. This is the real Mariah Carey.
Yeah,
man, I'm confused.
I think Mariah Carey has that one Christmas song that is just called Christmas. At one point, she just kind of starts screaming the word Christmas, and there's a lot of instruments playing, too many instruments, but I like it.
Yeah, right. It's the number one Christmas song every year, and I still love it. I still love that song.
Yeah,
that's probably my favorite Mariah Carey song. I don't know if I know that many other ones.
When I hear Mariah Carey, I think of Celebrity Deathmatch, where Mariah Carey and Jim Carrey fought to find out who would be the number one Carey, and before the match, they were fighting over a parking spot at the arena that had the word Carey written on it. and they're cussing each other out. But then Drew Carey walked by and said, "It was like, what are you assholes doing in my spot?"
Yeah, that's pretty good. I was waiting for the Drew Carey drop there. Yeah,
Drew Carey drop. Aren't we all? If this was a bombcast, I think it should be called the Drew Carey drop.
Yeah, I like when Mariah Carey sings that super, super, super high note that only she can sing. That makes me feel weird things. Not even sexually, just weird things in general.
Oh, I think so. We were talking about different songs. You were talking about All I Want for Christmas Is You.
Oh, okay. All right. She's got
and I was
the
talking
other
about
one.
Christmas. Yeah, the stars.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. So that's not Mariah Carey.
Shit.
Yeah, that's
she's had to have done the version of that song.
She's probably done a version of it, but that's what's her name that was on David Letterman would have her on every Christmas episode, and she would shut down the thing, and the CBS orchestra would be fucking just going nuts with it.
Yeah, that's what as I told you, it has so many
instruments. Yeah, and like they were like, and like Dave Letterman is just like in his element. He loves that song because they just crush it. So
it's so hard to find info about a Christmas song that is just called Christmas. Yes. I think that song is just actually called Christmas.
Yeah, Letterman Christmas.
Is it? Yeah, no. Letterman.
Darling Love. It's Darling Love. Christmas,
yeah.
Baby,
Okay.
Please Come Home is the parenthetical.
There is a Carrie version, and maybe I'm confused because my local radio station plays the Carrie version. I don't know.
You're probably. I'm sure that's right. That's probably the case. But Darling Love crushes that song. So yes.
Yeah, I think I've been really into this Christmas lately though for Christmas songs, especially there's a version with a lot of horns, a lot of trumpets. I like when Christmas songs kind of get close to ska. That's fun stuff.
Yes.
Can you tell I'm already kind of excited for Christmas?
I saw I watched the sports, and so I have cable on YouTube TV, and Macy's has started playing Christmas commercials, and boy am I let's rubbing my palms together. Let's fucking go.
Did you get your NSEA protector ornament from Galaxy Quest
No,
yet?
I should, because boy, I love Galaxy Quest. Is God, I think I love that movie just as much as you do. It's like got a top 5 movie for me.
You're talking about perfect movies, and perfect. They don't have that the F word drop. Actually, a perfect movie. Galaxy Quest.
Actually, perfect movie.
So freaking good.
God, I was going to bring up one more thing, but Mitchell Dyson chat mentions that Ariana Grande hits higher notes than Mariah Carey. I've only recently realized how talented Ariana Grande is. She does like singing impressions of like all these other really great singers, and she can like make herself sound just like them. She was doing that on SNL, I guess. That is incredible. That's like an insane skill that she can just like chameleon into anyone else's singing voice.
The only reason I ever would wish I was a pop singer is so I could have a Christmas album.
Sure. We could, but now listen, we can still do the Giant Bomb Christmas album.
Don't tempt me with a good time.
I mean, I bring it up every year, but we kind of need some like juice there. So I don't know, come up with a playlist.
I'll juice it up. There's got to be so many like pop stars that release a Christmas album that nobody ever listens to anymore, and I would like to just go through them.
Yeah, right? That would be fun.
Like Katy Perry's got to have a Christmas album that no one cares
You could do
about.
that live on Twitch as long as you just don't like back up the thing, right? So you could be like, hey, the Christmas music that no one's heard before, listening party.
I like this idea.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I would listen. I would tune in for that. I would like put that on in the house for the kids to listen to.
Chappelle Rowan yet. What's funny is I barely hear her music, but I see Chappelle Rowan in all sorts of like not controversies, but situations. I feel like yelling at photographers or not people getting mad at her for not endorsing people. I was like, man, all of a sudden I see this person all over the place now.
Chaperone. Yeah, I was just listening to her like for real for the first time in the last couple of weeks, and boy, she's also a very good singer.
I said Chappelle, didn't I?
I corrected it for the record, and we were going to move on. Dave Chappelle Roan. All right, we got a couple more here. Burrito says Bacalar should play the new Sonic game as a video series. Technically, Shadow is a Dark Echo. That's okay. Very good.
That's true. God, Shadow the Hedgehog lore is so incredible, and the most incredible part about it is that Sonic the Hedgehog seemingly actually has nothing to do with his creation. Like, he was not made to look like Sonic, just a coincidence.
That rules. That's actually so much better. God, I love Sonic bullshit. I can't stop thinking about Gerald Robotnik. That's
what my problem is when you guys are on that show, like Gerald Robotnik. What's this? I'm like, oh, these idiots don't know about Gerald Robotnik.
And that's like the best too, because it's like that's how the game's treated. Like, yeah, Gerald Robotnik, a very serious character. Like, this is a man important to the lore.
Come on.
Yeah. El Grug writes, Mike making Dan depressed last year with the Mary Kate party game was great. So what's the plan to ruin Dan's time on Extra Life this year?
I mean, we still have that save file because that game never ended.
That is,
we think it maybe never will.
Definitely an incentive, right? Have you put that on the document yet?
I think there's something to play, Mary Kate, again.
No,
I don't know if it's to
save.
re-engage that save file.
That's good.
To see if it actually. We played for like 3 or 4 hours, and there was no indication that the game could end.
All right. Well, the party doesn't ever have to stop if you don't want it to.
No.
But the super chats have stopped. We if we get any more, I promise to read them all before the end of the show.
All right. Yeah, let's take one more break, and then we actually have a mailbag to attack. So let's do that.
All right, good break.
Christmas when the snow's coming in.
Christmas. Right. I'm actually now I can hear the original version in my head, but there is a Mariah Carey version that I think it's played more for me.
Yes, yeah.
Stations Around Me definitely play the Mariah Carey version exclusively.
See,
I guess I'm not surprised to hear that. That makes sense because like
I've heard the original, but yeah,
right because they'll want to like play more Mariah Carey because just should people associate
she's the Christmas lady,
right? She's the Christmas lady, but they don't want to just do the one. So
yes,
yeah, that makes sense. But for me, like that, those Letterman performances are like they're worth like going and watching right now. Everybody, like,
what do you think? What do you think? Like Christmas morning is like at Mariah Carey's. I think it's magical.
I think it's like just dead silence.
Very depressing.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back into it.
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Oh, maybe we might get another slam. I don't know. Maybe. Oh,
all right. All right, Jeff, we're back. I'm going to take you off your leash so you can go and attack a human being, a.k.a. the mailman. Yeah, go get him. Get those letters, boy. That's enough. All right, thank you. Good boy. All right. All right, we got it from Jamie H1224. He says, throw the Hail Mary boy. Switch 2 is releasing on March 20th, right? Hell no. I'll tell you what, I may have once have been it comes out in March 2025 kind of guy. Sure ain't feeling that way right now. I don't think we're seeing that thing in the first quarter. Like they said, the announcement is coming before the end of the fiscal year. And that didn't mean that the system couldn't also release before the end of the fiscal year. I don't think so, though.
Yeah, listen, if it comes out on a date before the end of the fiscal, it is March 22nd because that's my birthday.
God, you're so obnoxious about your birthday. Grow up. Bailey Moon says in recent interviews, Monolith Soft was mentioning they are building their R&D department to upkeep a new in-house engine for both Xenoblade and other titles. What lessons do you think they can learn from 343 Industries to maintain this strategy?
I mean, hopefully not much. You want to learn from like Capcom, right? You want to learn from some more successful area. Look, I think that you don't like ambition is great, but just make the tools easy to work with. That's the real thing. Because if it's easy to work with, you'll kind of like struggle through any of the areas where maybe the engine is underbaked or whatever. But I think, just the fact that they are taking the time to reinvest in the tools is a good sign. And I think that shows that they understand they cannot just let tech debt, accrue permanently. They do have to take some time to address that. And that sounds like what they're doing. So to me, it sounds like the lessons have already been learned.
Casual says, dear Nintendogs, what's the best non-gaming thing you've bought for yourself this past year? Love you and all that you do. Am I allowed to say the Alarmo?
I really like the Alarmo. I do.
I tell you what, that thing gets me up nice and gently. Something about having to wave my arm around like an idiot to activate the snooze.
It gets the blood going, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I'm way less likely to really fall back asleep with that. I've kind of. In fact, there was a system update in the Alarmo, and I was sad there wasn't anything like really new with it. Like I thought I was gonna get some new alarms or something, but no, I like it. Yeah, Chris is right. Maybe this Galaxy Quest ornament.
Oh god, that is very good.
Here. Love this thing. This is good.
Yeah, I like my Alarmo. Although it's really Emmy's Alarmo. But she woke up this morning. She came and got me. She was like, my alarm went off. I guess it's time to get up. I'm like, oh yeah. I'm glad you woke up because I was gonna oversleep. So that worked out well. I do like my Pixel tablet that I use. That's actually been really nice. It's got a nice screen, good battery life, kind of just does what I need it to do. And I think I'm pretty happy with like the Pixel experience right now for Android, where it's like maybe in the past I might have considered just getting an iPad, but I'm like, I already have everything on Android. I'm glad this is good.
Yeah, so much of like my disposable income does just go to like video game stuff or related stuff and travel now,
Yes.
right?
Oh,
And those
yeah,
are
yeah.
the two things.
Right, yeah. The best thing I bought for myself this year was a trip to Disney. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe you haven't gone yet. Maybe it's gonna suck.
The
I heard bad things.
anticipation is good enough at this point where it's like I get to look forward to it. That was nice.
That's true. That is a big part of it. All right. The Uncharted Wolf says, "What's up, dogs? I've been really getting into watching the NBA recently, and I'm wondering what are the best Switch games to play while watching sports. I don't host my podcast during sports, so I can't do just strategy, unfortunately."
Hey, Mike's done it once before too.
One time
Once.
when my team was baseball team was in the playoffs. You watch regular season games, motherfucker.
Man, that feels like more of an insult than I think it even was. Like regular season games, bitch. Good Switch games? I don't know. I think anything that doesn't have an active story. I mean, you go play Diablo 3. I don't know. I tell you what, when I set my really good time in Astro the other night, I was listening to that book I was asking you for the name of, The Innovators. I was like tuned into that, and so I was like not even like really realizing what I was doing, and I like looked at the end. I'm like, oh my god, this time is so good, and I was not even actively engaged with the game. So Astrobot, there you go. Play that on your Switch.
Yeah. I honestly actually usually play MMOs, so I kind of have to use my dual screen setup here is what I really like to do for that. Pokemon, actually. I used to like to play Pokemon a lot when I was watching sports. All right. Chuckowski says, the Kinect came up on the Bombcast this week, and it occurred to me that there are so many games that are a huge risk of being lost because of the bespoke camera hardware involved. Are goofy peripherals the real enemy of game preservation?
Doesn't help.
I mean, there is just going to be a point where, like, and it sounds like a joke, but how are you going to play Tony Hawk Ride 20 years from now? How much longer are those skateboard controllers really going to work for? So, and how much can we do about that? Is there going to be so much of a demand that, like there's going to be companies that pop up and are going to do things like make their own Kinects and DJ Hero controllers? I don't know. Probably not.
Yeah, like the DJ Hero controller, right? There's probably a USB version of that, right? Because for the Xbox 360, you use the USB. So I think some of these things that have USB connectors, we could probably figure out a solution, but not everything does. Like the PlayStation Eye, right? What did that use? I have no idea for its connector, but it was probably bespoke to Sony. So yeah, there will be challenges to saving these things. Now, people will find out ways to emulate. If it's just a camera, people will be able to find a way to emulate that using a webcam or something like that. And they'll be able to fake it as best they can if there's demand. But there's not like a ton of demand for that work to be done. So I bet most of it hasn't been, although I haven't necessarily looked into that in emulators recently. So yeah, I mean, it presents a challenge for sure. I think something like the Kinect will be less of a problem, but some of these ones that are like a tier down from that, that could be a big issue.
Joyzy says, "Hey Jeff, can you let Mike know that shadows are darker on the moon? Thanks."
Yeah, Mike, shadows are darker on the moon.
Well, that's nice to know.
Why do you have any?
Is there some reason? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
no
know
idea.
what this is referencing.
Yeah.
Did I say something that maybe made people think I didn't know this? I guess I didn't know that.
I didn't know that. Yeah, I don't. I'm like struggling to think about why.
It's like, oh, why? Isn't that this?
Yeah, but
because I looked this up when I saw this question come in. It's because there is no air on the moon, and air scatters light.
Oh, okay.
That's interesting.
Because they don't have an atmosphere.
Oh, so they're saying that's for when you went on your rant that the moon has oxygen and people live there. And,
I'm going to say I didn't do that. So I still don't know why. I feel like it's being told like, oh, Mike was saying some stupid bullshit. Jeff, can you please put him in his place?
And I'm happy to.
Yeah, I know. That's all right. I probably had it coming. Daniel says, do you two freeze your candy bars? I haven't found one that wasn't better frozen. Even salted nut rolls are better cold. I haven't eaten a candy bar really in years. Like, probably the only quote unquote candy bar I'll have is maybe a single mini of a Snickers during Halloween. I think I'm just in Bombcast. I kind of lost my taste for chocolate, and I really don't eat very many sweets. I try not to snack very much. But back when I did, I thought everything was better frozen for sure.
Man, Marino says his uncle used to fill his ice dispenser with fun-sized candy bars. That's a cool move. You just got to get ice and a bunch of fun-sized candy bars pop out.
That's incredible.
I love that.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, no, I don't typically do this. I don't like things to be too cold on my teeth because I'm a
baby.
A baby.
You have weak teeth,
I
too?
I have weak everything. Yeah, the whole face region is just falling apart. But I do occasionally like one, like maybe in the fridge, like a caramello or something like that. But generally, I like them to be ooey and gooey.
Well, David says, "Dear diggity dogs, we all laugh about Kojima's slightly concerning collection of people he has scanned into his computer. But if he was asking you to get naked and stand in the middle of the scan room, you wouldn't make him ask twice. Think we can get Jim Ryan in Death Stranding 2. What do you think Kojima thinks of Jim Ryan? You already gave him a lot of money, right?
Yeah, he probably likes the name on the checks, right? Back then, when he was still getting those checks. Yeah, I don't know. Listen, there's a chance, but also probably not, because the people that went to Kojima were like Andrew House when he was still at Sony, and then it was Herman Holst and stuff like that. And him and Herman are thick as thieves. Herman was already in the first game, he's using his engine. So yeah, I think he'll just keep put more Herman Holsts in the game probably.
Screaming Man says, "Hello, Jeff, Ghost and Grublins, and Mike Menot Evil. I have a proposed Mount Rushmore of Halloween-themed games, and I want you all to rate it. Castlevania, Mr. Bones, Luigi's Mansion, and Resident Evil Village. I don't hate it. I don't know why you Village specifically. I would probably do a different Resident Evil. Mr. Bones is a great pick. I like that a lot. I would love to play some Mr. Bones.
Yeah, I think Resident Evil Village does feel like the most Halloween, I guess.
I guess it has a good variety of monsters. There's even wolfmen in it for some reason.
Right, but I think if we're doing Halloween themed games, I think for Capcom I would actually go Ghouls and Ghosts or something like that, because that just feels so like if you turned Halloween into a game.
Yeah, it's like if you turn a Spirit Halloween into a video game, It looks like Ghouls and Ghosts.
Yes, exactly.
Beefhammer says, "Woof, woof, woof, dogs. I'm jumping into Black Ops 6, and the experience has been troubling. See, I played the game correctly. I put my gun away and instead shoot people with just an RPG and fling C4 around constantly so I can be a one-man explosive device. But this has led to several messages sent to me basically telling me to go F myself. What happened to the game I love? Why are these kids soft nowadays? It's a legitimate strategy. Getting the other team angry is just a bonus perk of it all." Is this a legitimate strategy? You're the guy who knows about these games.
You could. There's definitely Beef Hammers out there. I love Beef Hammer. Just doing his thing out there, just being a complete wrecking ball in every situation he's in. This is fantastic. You keep being you, Beef.
Excuse me. Did Beef Hammer write a new lie for the last Bombcast? I've been enjoying those.
Yeah, probably. Not yet. You said, Sean. I wasn't paying attention.
I think he was busy working on something. So
great. That's ominous.
Okay. Something to look forward to. Okay. Velocity Prime 1 says, "Boo. Happy spectacular week to the dogs. Should Nintendo fully try their hand at making a horror game? We have things like Eternal Darkness and the past and more current takes like Emio, but those don't fall neatly into the genre revitalization we've seen with the RE remakes. What could they do to enter the space?" It's weird because it's not an amazing fit, which is why when they really deal with Eternal Darkness is because they sort of had the right partner for it. It kind of fell into place for them. And there was a desire then to maybe make the GameCube seem more appealing for an older audience because there was such a bias against it in that regard. These days, I'm not sure if that's really what they need, more so than just doing what they can to get more Resident Evil games on the Switch or Switch 2.
Yeah, I think they don't need to waste their time doing this because I just don't think it's the space that makes sense for them. And if they find a partner that does make sense, as Mike says, sure. But otherwise, no, just keep doing you, and I will happily play third-party scary games from people that put out games on your systems.
HLS says, "This is inspired by a conversation in the Discord today. But what Nintendo character is the most addicted to caffeine and who is the least?" Captain Falcon could be a big caffeine head. That would explain things.
Yeah, I think Toad, right? Does Toad
I also thought Toad first, just the voice, right?
Yeah, right.
I need my coffee!
Right. Don't talk to
to me unless I've had my coffee.
Yeah, that I don't have a Toad voice, but
yes, that's all right.
Whatever. But least addicted to caffeine.
I mean, the late, I don't know. Like, I can't imagine Rosalina is doing much except for like even her like morning tea is decaffeinated.
Right.
She's so put together, you know.
Yeah, I could see it.
We'll go with that.
Yeah, but that works for me.
Let's see here now. Jim says, "Hey, dogs, started Emio last week and like it so far. Though weirdly, I can't fit my surname in when it asks, why the hell is there a 10-character limit in 2024? Asking a stupid question instead of talking about the playtest. Yeah, we can't talk about the playtest, apparently.
I guess not.
That is weird. Although I remember, like, the Final Fantasy games, you can't do more than 7 characters, right? And that was always interesting.
What if they just, like, made the engine for Famicom Detective Club, and they're like, oh, there's the NES game can only have 10 characters, so we'll just make it that. And then they were like, well, we're going to make a new one. Because this is, like, a whole new thing, right? Emio,
this one's brand new. It's not a remake.
Right. So it's like maybe they're just like, we'll just use the same engine and not fix that. Because who's got a name longer than 10 characters? Come on.
Yeah. Lenny Cool Dick Dever says, "Hey, Jeff, dreaming about Jared Goff, Grubb, and Mike, who's the real non-factor Minotti. With the never-ending stream of layoffs in the gaming industry lately, what is the likelihood that 2025 will be better? Or is this survive until 2025 thing will pan out?" I mean, I guess we won't really know until, the whole reason we want to survive till 2025 is because we think, 1, Switch 2 is going to boost the industry, and 2, Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to boost the industry. So we're not really going to know unless we see those things happen. There's like some sound logic there. Now, those aren't very many baskets for a whole lot of eggs, so it's kind of concerning. And, either one of those things could be delayed or somehow be a disappointment. Right? I know it seems like Nintendo can't fail right now, but they have historically failed plenty.
Yep.
It does happen. Grand Theft Auto can't fail. Well, they haven't actually released a new Grand Theft Auto in a while. How are people going to feel about Grand Theft Auto 6? They're probably going to feel great about it, and it's probably going to be a giant success.
Probably.
But, there's like a 2% chance that maybe it's not. And what happens if we roll unlucky, right?
Yeah.
It could be bad.
Yeah, and for the most part, I think Survive to 25 is a decent strategy. I think once we get to next year and the companies are like, it wasn't as bad as we thought it was going to be, they will start spending a little bit more. Advertising spending will bounce back, things like that. The big reason for this is consumer spending in the United States continues to be really strong. The economy, despite all the ways people feel about it, is surprisingly strong. It's weirdly strong. It has been consistently for a very long time. Now, if we talk about just like in gaming, like it's a little bit different because the consolidation is something that we're still coming to grips with. Like people just want to keep playing the games they've been playing. They're hesitant about spending money on new games, and that could have a domino effect as companies stop greenlighting projects that they like maybe before they were a little bit unsure about, but now they're like, well, we definitely don't think that can work. And if that keeps happening, there'll be fewer jobs, there will be fewer support studios, and that could begin to spiral out of control. So things could go bad in a lot of different ways. But I think in general, people that can make it to 2025, for the most part, will see a couple of years where like there's a grace period where it's like people look around and be like, I think we could spend some money.
Always Be Clothing says, what Nintendo characters would you invite to your Halloween party and why?
I mean, I would like to see what Wario and Waluigi would come dressed
I'm shocked
as.
this is your answer.
Yeah, I was like, they would be annoying at a party, but I mostly just want to see what they would be dressed as.
Yeah, they would be just awful at a party, actually.
But I could just sit back and be like, wow, all right. He is really going as Al Gore. Weird.
Yeah, and he's Bob Dole.
Yeah, I don't know. And then do I have a third one? I don't know. A Toadsworth.
Your party sounds terrible.
I'll enjoy myself, but I won't talk to any of them.
Yeah, I'm just gonna invite nice people who will probably have fun at a party, like Mario. I want Mario to come to my party. There you go.
I guess a pervert.
Octa
He'll expose
says,
himself at the parties. Sorry, go ahead.
He will. Octa says, which comes first, the Zelda blowout or the Metroid Prime blowout? 2 plus 3. Does Mother 3 somehow overtake both? And did Kid Icarus Uprising fly too close to the sun? Who needs a Switch 2 when there's still so much profit left to squeeze from? sports. Yeah, I mean, Bandai Namco canceled some kind of project that I think they even said, well, we're going with Nintendo. We knew they were hiring for an action game for Nintendo. I think we all thought maybe that was Kid Icarus Uprising. We don't know. What do you think? We think we get the Zelda ports or the Metroid Prime ports first?
I think we get the Metroid Prime ports first. I think, they definitely seem to both be in the same holding pattern of Nintendo is keeping them in their pockets for when they make sense for promoting other games in the franchise in the right way. It's weird, but that's Nintendo. I think the dam obviously breaks for Metroid Prime first because Metroid Prime 4 is coming soon, and they probably don't have a million other Metroid games in the works. Although they probably do have that Metroid Dread follow up in development at that studio. I wouldn't be surprised by that because that did pretty well, and about equivalent to Link's Awakening remake, and we got another one from Grezzo. Why wouldn't they do a Metroid Dread follow up?
Bradfish says with Xenoblade Chronicles X coming to Switch, what's next in the Nintendo vault for them to remaster? Besides Link Between Worlds and the HD Zeldas, of course. Let's not consider those Zelda and Metroid games. Do you think Kid Icarus Uprising has a chance still?
Yeah, there's a chance. Maybe we got mixed signals there. Maybe it was a different project that Bandai Namco shut down. There's still a chance. And I would like to see that. I mean, that's the one I think I would want to try to play the most because I want to see that for myself because I never really played it all that much on 3DS.
Wonder if there's maybe another GameCube game like F-Zero X, maybe even Kirby's Air Ride, which people still have a lot of fondness for. I think that could be fun. Or I wonder if maybe I know it's not quite as well liked, but maybe you get that 1,000-Year Door team to just do Super Paper Mario. Why not?
I would like that. Super Paper Mario. I like that. Mostly watch Steph play that, but I enjoyed that.
JD Camp says the Discovery Cube of Los Angeles has a Science of Hockey exhibit. What is the Science of Hockey? I think I saw this because you drive by this on whatever highway takes you from LA to Disneyland. So I drove by this cube and it did say something about the Science of Hockey. Yeah, what's the Science of Hockey, Jeff?
Skate hard. Don't give space to the other team. We're just out there sporting each other. That's the science, the sweet science of hockey.
I think it's like the science of friction. I think it's about momentum, right?
It's actually about keeping the edge because there's two blades on the bottom of your skate, and you got to either stay on one or the other. And if you try to stand on both, it'll go bad. So you kind of always have to be staying on the edge of the thing, which means the way to go fastest is to cross over each time with your steps when you're skating. And so when you see the fastest players, the best players like Connor McDavid, he is always crossing over, and that's become sort of a huge skill now in hockey for the people. The people that can do that really well are crushing everybody else.
Wiesman says, "What's up to my dogs? This message is as much for Dan as it is for you two. Please heed these words: The Legend of Zelda, Echoes of Wisdom, Hyrule Hustle." The hustle. Man, Echoes of Wisdom might actually work better for it than Tears of the Kingdom, huh?
That's interesting. Because, that's a fun part of that map is just being able to hop over all that stuff and using all the different tools. And it's a big map. That could be fun. I would we'll mention it to Dan. We'll see.
Ali Miracle says, let's approach this secret NSO MMO test thing as just something of a groundwork for one of their IPs. From what you can talk about based on what's out there, what IP do you think would benefit this most with the mechanics we know about other than an Animal Crossing? Is there an IP you think they could slide into their realm? Pikmin makes sense.
Pikmin, Tomodachi Life is maybe the one that makes the most sense based on what we've seen. But I think this thing's just going to be its own thing. Based on what we've seen.
I want it to be its own thing.
I think it makes sense. It's its own thing. There are I think player created costumes. So if you go out and look at some of the screenshots, you'll see Pikachu's and weird Marios and stuff. So that's already happening. I don't know. It feels like MMO. It feels like it feels like it feels like Roblox in a lot of ways. It's weird.
Is there any chance it's a Star Tropics game?
Yes, it probably is.
Oh, probably. Damn. Tink says, my dogs, you didn't get to Earthbound this year. I understand, but next year is its 30th anniversary. So will you pledge to me right now that that's the year? Also, please don't hate it. I don't think my heart can handle it. I don't think I would hate it.
Yeah, I'm not going to hate it. I've already liked what I played the one time. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to play Earthbound. I wanted to this year, but yeah, it just became way too busy for that. So hopefully, next year there will be some time to get to Earthbound. I don't want to pledge because, I'll say that then all of a sudden there's somehow even more RPGs out next year or something. I definitely want to.
I pledge to play it at least by Mother's Day. I will.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, we'll do a Mother Day stream. If I haven't played it by then, that week I'll make it a whole thing on Giant Bomb.
Stinky says, Stinkin' love you guys. You help me get through the good and the bad. This is a good community of folks. Thank you, Stinky.
Thank you, Stinky. We appreciate that. And I don't mind that you're stinky. I love that you're stinky.
I think you could use a shower personally.
I love it.
All right. Why don't we take one last break here and we'll wrap the show up.
Good stuff.
What's the score?
We are losing. The Yankees are winning.
The good guys are losing.
4-6 Yankees, end of the sixth.
Yeah, we are all losing when the Yankees win.
Yep. 4-6, okay.
That's me, brother.
All right.
It's not terrible.
Yeah, it's workable. Shohei Ohtani getting a walk, or they're in New York. Okay, not a walk-off, but yeah, they could still win this.
All right, why don't you get the rest of the super
let's
chats up? Is there anything you want to talk about that you've been playing that you can even talk about?
I mean,
Switch? I don't know.
I could talk a little bit about playing more Tears of the Kingdom with the kids, but other than that, yeah. No.
Yeah, let's just do these super chats and
Sounds good.
that's fine.
Okay.
All right.
All right, we're back, Jeff. Let's get to the rest of these super chats and people watching. If you still want to get one in, this is your last call. Here you go. There's only a couple, actually.
Yeah, there's a couple here. Epic Open World has an appeal to chat, saying, "Chat, I need art of Chappelle Roan." So do that. I don't know which Chappelle show character would make the most sense. You guys can figure that out on your own.
Yeah. When I think about pre-problematic Chappelle, I do think about his bit about Ja Rule. That's what I always think about.
And then Chuck-towski, I think, admitting to his crimes here, says never gonna give you up.
Yes, we got rickrolled by Chuck-towski during the Bombcast today.
Yeah.
What?
How embarrassing for us.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's embarrassing. It's rough. It's hard for us.
I'm still trying to live it down to this day.
Grown ass adults.
You're never gonna live it down.
Never gonna live it up.
They're gonna give you up.
Yep. That is it for the super chats as of now.
Right, and like I said, I have not been playing a whole lot of Nintendo games. You've been playing a little bit of Tears of the Kingdom with the kids.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, not much. It's it's been fun. I like them bringing me the Switch and be like, hey, can I get help with this? And it's like, oh man, I just played another 25 minutes of Zelda. And I didn't mean to do that. Those games are really so good. But I'm kind of getting interested into seeing like what they are taking away from it. Emmy has fully built out her house now, designed it. It's huge. She's got her own paddock for the horse that she likes, things like that. And it was cool. It was like, I'm like, I will help you a little bit, but you need to figure this stuff out. So she is going out, finding food, making meals, selling them at shops, getting that money, going back to the guy, asking for a new room, redesigning her house, setting stuff up like that. So it was like really cool to see her like put all this stuff together and understand the way the world works and begin to get into like the economy of the game. And now I'm like, oh, this is great because you were just working on figuring out like which digit in this number is in the hundreds place. So when you come to me and you're like, hey, how much is this? I'm like, no, you tell me like which digit's in the hundreds place. So we're kind of using it as an educational tool. So just all around having a really good time with that stuff. And now she's exploring the depths. And she was like apparently telling her friend all about that. Like she's like, some of these games have two sides to them. This one, it's like there's up part where it's nice and bright,
like
and
a
fine.
dark world and a light world.
Yes, and then there's these other parts that's just so creepy. And I'm like, yep, there's a dark underworld there. Absolutely, kiddo. So yeah, I don't know. It's been a real joy to kind of experience Zelda through their eyes. And I never thought it'd be like, you guys should play Zelda. But I was like, no, I don't know if this is for you. If it's for you, tell me. Go ahead and you could try it. So the fact that they sort of found it on their own and made it their own has been really rewarding.
Yeah, that's cool. It's cool. I'm glad they're enjoying it. Man, Brothership is just November 7th. But I do hope you beat 1,000 Year Door before that because I'm not sure if you're going to get around to
it. That's
a
good point.
Brothership.
I'll try to finish up Echoes of Wisdom and then I'll immediately do 1,000 Year Door. I'll focus on that.
Cleanup time.
Yeah, it's cleanup time. It definitely is. I want to play more Metaphor, but I think to do that, I might just do a dedicated like couple of streams, maybe even on just Giant Bomb, where it's like I'm gonna get to like 15 hours into Metaphor, so I can have like a basis of understanding when people want to talk about that during Game of the Year. I think that would be give that game a fair shake, so that I'm not just having to sit out conversations when that comes up over and over and over again. I definitely want to meet some of these characters that you think I'll like and that everyone else seems to like. So that's my plan right now.
What you doing on the plane this weekend?
Oh, I should play some Metaphor. It's a good idea.
Good Steam Deck game.
Yeah,
I'll
it
be
is.
asleep.
Yeah, I will.
Not a very long plane ride we have there.
I have a layover both ways, so I
really that sucks for you.
Yeah, same. I have like 8-hour trips both ways.
Sucks
so
for
I'm
you
playing
too.
a lot of Metaphor.
Where are you flying out of? You flying out of
Pittsburgh?
Okay, yeah,
maybe.
Cleveland. There were not a lot of great options at affordable prices.
I am lucky that I can basically look at both the Pittsburgh and Cleveland airports for all trips. It helps a lot.
Yeah, I sort of just went with it, but so I will have some time to play some games this weekend when I'm traveling. And then when I'm at Dan's house, but not the games that I want to be playing, probably.
Yeah. Hey, what do we want to do Thursday? It is Halloween. I could still podcast, but it would have to be a bit later in the day after the kids are all done with their stuff.
Same.
Do we want to like push it back an hour, maybe try to do a little shorter one, or we want to let's play it by ear and see if we can do it the normal time? I don't know.
No, let's do it a little bit later, and we'll do an hour of power. We'll do like kind of a shorter podcast where we just kind of do the big stuff, and We'll do it that way. That makes sense.
Okay, special Halloween episode. Don't be scared, everybody.
Episode. Yep.
Especially since we'll be able to still do the podcast on Tuesday, so that's fine. All right.
Yeah, we'll be back.
We'll be back by then. Yeah, I think I come back. You leave Sunday night. I leave
Sunday morning. Yeah, I'm out of there early. I gotta get back home.
I leave like very early Monday morning to the point where it's basically Sunday night. Monday 7 a.m. All right, but okay, fun stuff. We've got Blight Club tomorrow.
Yep, you
Lucy
and me.
James.
I should be hitting the music, huh?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you can hit that. But yeah, Blight Club tomorrow. Lucy James is going to be back in that awful King Kong game. That'll be exciting. Halloween is almost here. That's nice. Is there any like movies or shows that you really want to watch before Halloween's over?
Yeah, I mean, now Monster Squad getting in my head, I would like to do that. I like Lost Boys. I got like a list of movies that I like try to watch every year. I've never seen The Shining, so I might try to do that.
The Shining is always on at my friend's party, so I was watching a lot of that again. Is that Haunted Mansion Muppets thing in like your yearly rotation?
Not yearly rotation, but it's definitely one that we enjoyed. So I'll put that up there.
It's good stuff.
Yep.
Halloween almost here. Thanksgiving after that. Christmas season before you know it. I do like this time of the year.
It's just going though, so I'm gonna try to find ways to stop and enjoy it.
Yeah, you're right. It's fast. So yeah, we're gonna be in LA before you know it even. So
I'm already dancing out this weekend. Bye everybody.
Bye. Philosopher Frederick Nietzsche.